Welcome everybody to this episode of SoulFull Sessions. With me here once again is Madelaine Parker for our monthly cosmic forecast for April 2021. And so Madelaine and I were talking a little bit before the recording today, and she was sharing with me that there is some really beautiful, dynamic, forward-moving energy coming up. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Amalia Natalio, and Madelaine, please share with us what is coming up for April.
All righty. Hi, everybody. Thanks again, Amalia, for having me. And I'm really excited to do a report on this because this month is just the month we've been waiting for. It's the go month because we have every single planet going direct. No planets in retrograde except for North Node, that's always in retrograde, but don't let that confuse you. That's always in retrograde. But we have planets shifting into, we have, some of our personal planets shifting into some very good, in their own rulership type of houses. So that's a pretty nice, we have Venus going into Taurus, which is a nice grounding energy, very calm. Venus is happy in Taurus. It's ruled by Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus. So it's in its rulership. Then we have Mercury going into Aries and going into Mercury at the end of the month. Taurus at the end of the month. Let me see. Yeah, Mercury enters Taurus on the 19th, but it enters Aries on the 3rd. So Mercury is going to sort of race along here. So we've got a lot to talk about here. We've got the North Node. We've got Mars on the North Node. The only tricky aspect this month is that Uranus square Saturn, because that's whenever we have the outer planets squaring, that's a really long transit. Uranus takes 184 years to move, I think, or is it 84 years? I get confused, but it takes a lot of years. It's not like a once in a lifetime type transits. So these squares, this one really, it does play out, is going to play out for most of the year. But other than that, it's a really smooth month.
Awesome. So Venus into Taurus, does that happen at the beginning? I know you mentioned Mercury into Aries is March 3rd. Is Venus going into Taurus around that same time?
April 14th.
Okay, so a little further. So let's maybe just start with the effects of Mercury moving into Aries and then ultimately Taurus. Like, what sort of energy shall we expect so we can be somewhat proactive in how we navigate our life, knowing that this energy is at play?
Right. Well, currently, as the month goes into April, as we make that transition, we do have Mercury in the sign of Pisces. And you may have experienced with Mercury in the sign of Pisces, you might have found yourself sort of apologizing to people, being honest where you hadn't been honest, because depending on what house it's in, it will be the area where you clear up some karma in your communication, the way you've maybe been talking meanly to somebody, or you didn't express your true feelings and you did it toxically instead, because Mercury in Pisces is all about what's my truth, what is my higher way of operating. So if you've cleared, you probably did, most people did, I apologize to my father for getting in an argument. And I have Pisces near my 10th house, which is father. So you may have found yourself clearing up some kind of a toxic situation with somebody in your communications, and it could be at work, it could be anywhere depending on your chart. And now we're going to move into the sign of Aries, where we've cleaned our slate, we've cleaned our karma, we've learned our lesson, we realized I shouldn't really speak that way to people, or I need to be more honest and tell people the way I really feel. And so now you've cleared that barrier every time you clear a little karma in your psyche and in your energetic field, you lift up a vibrational frequency. That's what the Pisces into Aries is all about. When Pisces is the end of an era, it's kind of going home to Jesus and God energy, and then we're refreshed and we're ready for a new initiation. So we're really because we're really at the beginning of the month, we have the sun in Aries. We're going to have plus we do have that new moon coming in Aries. We've got Mercury in Aries. At the beginning of the month, we also have Venus in Aries. So this is why they're calling it the go time. Aries is go energy. It's initiation. It's starting things. It's inspired. It's the fire energy. It's the leader. It's the first sign of the astrological chart, which is let's do it. Let's get this going.
Wow. So that's cool. I wasn't thinking in terms of Venus obviously is in Aries now, if it's moving
Right.
into Taurus at mid-month. So, wow, so you've got, so if we were to take Mercury and Venus, just the energy of those two particular planets,
Right.
both in an earth sign now, getting ready to move into a fire sign, would you, and I mean, I'm just guessing, I don't know if it's,
They're moving, we've got,
I'm sorry, yes, they're moving it from fire into earth. Thank you, thank
Right.
you. What would you say the energy around communication and relationships are going to be somewhat key in the month of April? Okay.
Absolutely, because we just had this full moon in Libra, which was clearing your toxicity in relationships, you're out of balance in relationships, how you're not supporting the progressive unity of your relationship, however that sort of plays out for you. And then we go into, okay, good, we've figured this out, we've balanced out. Now let's take this forward energy. And because we have this North Node and Mars conjunction too, which I didn't mention, but that's in the sign of Gemini, which is again an air energy, which is, this is very masculine energy, everything except for when we go into Taurus. Taurus is very
Right.
feminine, receptive. We're really in the beginning of April is all about initiations that are going to launch a whole new chapter for you, like a 29-year, let's put it this way, the 29-year chapter really started at the new year. So the seeds were really like in embryonic form there, but now we're going to see them sprout their little leaves, you know, and you're going
Yeah,
to
so
start seeing.
it's a little bit of growth and forward
Yes,
that forward movement. So
right.
the seeds that were planted in when would you say?
I would say that Jupiter conjunction, Saturn Jupiter conjunction, 0 degrees, December 21st.
Okay, so December 21st, that's when the seeds were planted, and now we're beginning to see the fruits of that labor.
Yeah, I think that was the energy that was a real sort of like, it was like this bam energy of new ideas, new inspirations, new, like, we're going to change the world now. This is a new time. This is a new era. And so that's when the universe and the stars sent you down your little download of your mission. And that's what Mars on the North Node is all about, is you becoming, first of all, interested. Gemini is the energy of being interested, of wanting to know more and redefining your mission or your purpose. So that Saturn Jupiter conjunction really ignited that, and now you're becoming more conscious of it, and now you're going to becoming, because of Mars on it, you're going to take into action. See, so Mars in on all of that, because Mars rules Aries. So, you know, we're really looking at action, because if you've got Mars, which is ruled by Aries on the North Node, that's kind of another sort of Aries energy in on the picture. You know what I mean? But we've got information in on that. And Gemini is a very sort of exploratory, fun, interesting, mercurial, changey, like investigate, find out more, like, let's do it, let's go, it's like exciting. And redefining what your mission is, redefining your purpose, becoming clearer on the path towards your purpose, because Mars and Aries is the energy of action. So it becomes clear what your actions are, because in the last couple of months, it's probably been pretty foggy. You could feel it. You knew there's a new time, Eric. You can feel your new, everybody's got like a new chapter in their life. Everybody can sort of feel it. But they were really a little bit lost. It was a bit foggy. So now we're getting, this is my action steps here.
So maybe for some folks too, it's going to be a situation where, you know, they initiated something recently in the past couple of months, or they just made a decision about something, and now it's like, okay, maybe they're beginning to see, yes, that was the right way to go, or maybe it wasn't, and they can course correct.
Yeah.
That's the sort of, right now we're going to be able to see a little bit more, have a sense of, okay, this is the right direction to move.
And that's a very interesting thing you're saying that, because you may have seen it, but you may not have had the courage for it, and the confidence, because Aries is confident, courage, believes in it, like believes in itself. And it's selfish, because Aries is a selfish energy, but when you're selfish in your Aries energy, it aligns you with your true purpose, because that's what really is what fires you up in life, your true purpose. So it's not a bad thing. If you come in with the Aries energies, you're supposed to be selfish, because that's putting you on your right path. So there is going to be a shift to really doing what you feel inspired and excited to do. And you're going to have the confidence and believe in it, because Aries is the bold initiator. So you now believe in it. You got downloaded that idea, you got downloaded that sort of possible thing that kind of came down that gave you, I wonder what, and then, okay, I see it, I can do it. I'm not afraid of doing something different. I trust the universe is going to support me on this. I'm going to have faith. This is my destiny. I feel confident. You're going to get people feeling much more risk taking. Aries is a sign of a risk taking.
Well, and I'm just curious too, like if it's a situation where if you're on the right path for you, like if you're lined up with whatever you're meant to do, that's when you're going to begin to see, okay, this is it. This is the right way to go. And if you're not, would you say that perhaps it's, there may need to be a little bit of a reassessment of where?
I know, yes, I know quite a few people, because I do a lot of reads for people who weren't maybe on their path recently. And this is where the big sort of question is about astrology and free will, like how much free will do we really have? Do we make a choice here? Well, really, sometimes the choice is, do you go easily or do you go fighting? Do you take your new path, because I know a particular person who was not really on their full right path, and they are now really having a big ego explosion, because Aries is kind of an ego energy too. Don't forget, it's a lower frequency energy. It's not a bad energy, but it's the chakra of the low of the physical materials, the red chakra at the very bottom, the material. So it's like sometimes you just can, it's not necessarily knowledgeable of heart direction. So some people, it's taking a big bruiser on their ego, because they feel like failures, because what they've been struggling for so long is now clearly not the right path for them. And it's sort of like, it's been a lot of work they threw themselves into, and they were out of alignment. And now this is time for initiation on their true aligned path. And it becomes very clear, but it's forced.
Yes, that's why I have my, sorry, everyone. Yeah.
Love pierced through.
I know it did. Significant other popping in to join us for a minute. His SoulFull Sessions debut just now.
Oh, good. Yeah.
his cameo appearance.
So
basically, speaking of those, the bigger picture pieces and being on track with where you're meant to go and where you are, if you're aligned. So I'm just curious, I'm like thinking for people who may have recognized or realized that they're not on the right path, and is this the time to maybe let go a little bit? Like, don't fight against it, just allow the letting go to take place.
Yeah, I think you're going to get on this path. I honestly think it's the opportunity that opens up for you, and your other opportunities aren't open. It's the open doors. You're going to have no choice, because that's the open door, and that's where your abundance seems to be. And you're going to see abundance in that open door. And you're going to be like, all right, I guess I go through this door. This wasn't really what I planned. But once you release that perception that it's the wrong way, you suddenly see how that and the wrong way you went will be an important factor in the new way. It's not your mind is going to tell you, oh, I failed at this, but you're going to see once you enter your path that was that's going to partner.
Right. That you learn something from that, and that gave you information to know, oh, wait, this isn't the right way. I need to go this way, instead of staying stuck in some place and trying to, I always use the analogy of like forcing a square peg into a round hole.
Yes.
Like you can keep trying and attempting. It's just not going to work.
If it's not your true destined path, the universe will be constantly trying to direct you. You'll be constantly being redirected, and your abundance is going to be on your true abundant path. Okay. So you do want to open up to the opportunities, whatever opportunities. I'm doing a lot of card reads, of course, for people, and I just see so many opportunities showing up in their reads, and it may not be the one you thought. I mean, you're going to be surprised, especially this week. Actually, it is very much. Why is this week I forget. We have Mercury and Venus conjunct Uranus square Saturn. So there's going to be a surprise change of mind this week. Everybody, even if you are on your right path, you may not have known that it was going to unfold in this particular type of way. Like you're going to see, nope, this is the way. Yeah, you're kind of close. but it's going to be this way. And that's just the way the universe opens up the opportunities for you, because that's where the universe wants you, because the universe is in charge.
I am so excited to see where personally in my life that's going to show up, because this first week of April is a pretty big week for me, coming off some big stuff at the end of March. So I'm so curious to see how that unfolds. All right, so I'm sorry.
What is your ascendant again? Can you remind me? Are you Aries ascendant?
Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Yeah. And so for those who are listening in right now, Madelaine and I are going to wrap up kind of the energies for this month, but then we're going to be talking about each one of the 12 zodiac signs. And we'll invite you to listen in for your sun, your moon, and your rising. So if you know what all three are, then please listen in for each. If you only know your sun, listen to that, because you'll get some information to help you navigate this month going forward. And then of course we also have our IG lives at every new moon and full moon, the Thursday before each new moon and full moon at 3 p.m. Eastern. So definitely join us for that. Once you listen to this podcast, you may have questions, you can come on and we can share information with you, share with us questions you might have. We go through each one of the zodiac signs, and it's just really fun. We have such great people that join us and engage, and we have conversations, and it really is just such a fun way to talk about the energies that are coming up for each of the moons, and to we always talk about some sort of ritual or some sort of
some of those more challenging aspects.
Action steps that you can take to help you feel a little bit better about things that may be coming up. So I'm not sure, Madelaine, have we completed the energy for the month? I don't know. I don't know if we talked about Mars entering Cancer yet.
Yeah, that's going to be on the 20th. Full moon. Okay, on the 23rd, at the end of sort of towards the end of the month last week, we've got Mars enters Cancer, which is a really sort of soft. Really, it's, every time I look at people's charts and they have Mars and Cancer, they're musicians, almost straight across. So many of them are musicians.
Oh, wow.
We're talking of a really lovely empathic energy. Mars and Cancer is nice. Some people think it's sort of debilitated and it's a little bit watered down. Mars is fire. It's sort of water, kind of puts out the fire a little bit. But I think that is going to put us I think we're getting a lot of crystalline downloads right now, like a lot of empathic. A lot of times I do reason people think there's going to be conflict, and I go, no, I'm getting a lot of empathic energy here, where there would normally be sort of more aggressive sort of energies, because that's the other side of Aries is, if you're in your shadow aspect, you're going to be aggressive, maybe getting fights, getting in arguments, probably getting into power struggles with people. Your ego is kind of flaring up. In its positive aspect, you're in alignment with your desires and you're headed forward on your leadership initiation of your new path. With it going into Mars, going into Cancer, we're really getting a much more calmer, chill energy, very low key, very, and of course, depending on what house it's in. But in my opinion, it's going to be actions around empathic, crystalline. I think you're going to see a lot of really nice energies with Mars and Cancer. Even though I don't think you're going to see a lot of aggro going on in the world during that period.
Well, and I mean, Cancer is, it's the sign of the moon, and it is that soft maternal, sort of vibe. And so I could see where instead of being more aggressive, it would be a little bit softer. And like you said, like music obviously can be more aggressive, but it can also be really soft and comforting. And so that actually sounds quite nice. So we come into the month where we've got Venus is in Aries, Mercury is in Aries, both of them shifting into Taurus, which is going to, get both will be that sort of, there'll be some newness to it, some earth energy.
We're going to muddy energy in May. It's going to be very muddy. That Cancer, that Mars and Cancer could be very watery too. It could be rainy weather-wise, and then we've got all these planets in Taurus, Earthy, you're looking at mud too. So, but energetically too. So it's kind of like it slows things down a little bit in May.
Okay.
But it's to ground it, because we've got these Taurus energies. We've got these initiations now. This is the way the horoscope works. It goes from Aries to Taurus. So that Aries comes in and initiates, Aries, the fire that initiates, and Taurus is the energy that goes, okay, here's what we do, boom, 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 boom. Here's how we
Sure.
ground the structure. Here's how we make it start. Here, we got to put the bricks here, the bricks. We need a strong foundation. Taurans are
Yeah.
they're very earth, they're they have very good foundations. It's
Okay.
about the foundation.
So, all right. So let's see. So I feel like we have a pretty good handle on the energies
Right.
of the month. If
Yeah, we didn't talk about the moons, but we can talk about it in the IG.
yeah, we will definitely, we're going to entice everyone to come and join us in conversation. Just come in and have like, it'll be a big moon party. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I think the really cool thing about hearing about the moon energy right before each new moon and full moon is, I know we share so much information here in this, and I know that I listen to a number of phenomenally good podcasts that talk about the different energies. And what happened for me is I would listen to this podcast, and then when it came time for the new moon or full moon, I did not want to go back and like re-listen to it again, or like find the spot. So this to me, you know, the way I create as how I would like to receive the information. So this feels good to me because you get a taste of the month. Yeah, we're gonna go into each zodiac sign, so you'll get the taste of it for you personally, and then join us for the live, and then you can go back and, you know, rewatch the live too to get even more information. Go back and
come back for more.
Yeah. So I think that's fun. And please, you know, as you listen, folks, drop a comment or send me an email or let me know what sort of format feels good to you. If you like the format that we have, is there something that we could do a little bit differently? Doesn't mean we're necessarily going to do it, but we would definitely love to hear about it and inspire and see if we can do it.
Yeah, the point is that we deliver this information in a way you understand and find it useful. So if you don't understand, like Amalia says, sometimes I rush a little in this, but we do want you to understand it. So
absolutely, yeah. And that, you know, the thing that I love about Madelaine is that she has such a knack for allowing herself to be this really pure, open channel where information comes flowing through, sometimes flooding through, and it's just, she's just like boom, 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 boom. She's got to get it all out. And it's amazing when you're in the flow of what she's sharing, especially if you can go back and listen again. Because I know sometimes, like when she and I do personal sessions, or when we're like talking and getting ready for one of the recordings, I'm like, and I'm a note taker, so I'm writing stuff down, and I'm like, I know I missed stuff, and what did she just say? And I understand the majority of the lingo that she uses, but for you all, you may not. And so definitely let us know if there's any way that we can improve and make this better for you, because this you are the reason that we're doing this. So all right, so let's see, I guess, so we'll start with Aries. I'm going to remind everyone once again, listen in to your sun sign, your moon sign, and your ascendant, which is your rising. If you don't know where these are, you can get a chart, and this is mine. I'll share for those who are watching the video version. It's essentially, you can get them off of a number of different places. Astro.com, cafeastrology.com, astro-charts.com, and the charts they have a little bit of a different style, but you're basically looking at a circle with like a cross in the center, and you'll see different planets, and they have a little bit of information about them. And it's really helpful when we are talking about each of the signs and where they are, so you can see where they are on your chart, and you'll get a better sense of what's happening specifically for you. So the energies, so let's just say, all right, so I'm going to use myself an example. So I am a Leo sun, a Taurus moon, and a Scorpio rising. So I know that when Madelaine is sharing information about Leo, that's going to be, that relates to me because it's my sun sign. Same with Taurus, same with Scorpio. And each
by the sun, that Leo is ruled by the sun.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. And so it's definitely, there's definitely going to be some specific energy for me based on when she's talking about Leo, I'm going to perk up and take a few little notes. And you'll also know, I mean, there's so much more in depth, and maybe over time we will do expound on that, maybe do a second podcast for each month about it. But for now, we're just doing this to help everyone, just introduce them. But just when you listen in, you're gonna resonate with things that Madelaine shares about any one of those three for you. I know if you listen to any of our lives, people come on and she'll share, just general energetic information, the cosmic forecast for a sign, and people are chiming in going, oh my gosh, yes, I know exactly what that is. I'm having that right now in this, or that is happening. And so it's, even though she's giving a general overview, you are going to know exactly what she's talking about as it pertains to you, which is so cool.
It's so amazing that astrology, it wakes everybody up to that we're all under this together. That's the idea of astrology. Like we all are going through this in some way, shape, or form,
Yeah.
and we're all in it together. That's a beautiful thing about astrology. So yes.
Yeah. All right. So let's
right.
take it from the top. Let's see about Aries.
Aries, you might be really motivated and driven. You might have to calm down. There's something called jet propulsion, right? Where you hold the fire energy back. It's like, Aries, don't let that horse go. Hold your horses here a little bit.
Okay.
But it's good. Let it happen. Let it go. Initiate. Go for it. Just don't burn out. Don't let all this energy just be such a fire. So yeah, but you do at the beginning of the month, you've got Mercury in your 12th house. Whenever before your solar return, you always have a very introspective period. Most of your sun is going to be in your 12th house, but right now Aries, the sun is in your first house. But with Mercury in your 12th house, you still are a little bit kind of hesitant to communicate. You're still clearing a little karmic communication here. And then we really are, Venus is in your first house at the beginning of the month, Mars in your third house. Communication, possibly starting businesses, projects with your community, with people around you. It could be an entrepreneurial endeavor that you're now going to initiate. And we have Saturn and Jupiter in your 11th house. So you're really going to take a bold initiation into the social media arena, or out into the world, or with your tribe, or with friends. It's possibly you're going to partner in some kind of project that involves a career involving out in the world social media.
Nice.
And then we've got, and I won't do the outer planets, but the North Node conjuncting Mars in your third house. You're going to be on mission to a true kind of possibly a entrepreneurial endeavor, or a form of communication or writing, but something you're now seeing as your true path that you need to take out into your fourth, where Saturn and Jupiter are in the 11th house. So you got to take this out. You got to get out there with it. You got to step out more, but you're going to feel it. You're going to feel motivated and fired up too.
Wow. So really, I think my key takeaway for Aries is let that jet propulsion take you, but not take you away so that you get burnt out and you almost lose your way in the process. Like, just
you've got power force that it pulls you. You don't get tired because it pulls you. If you hold it back a little, it pushes you. So just the fire signs have dangers of, like, when these energies are all really strong and fire, they kind of go, they can injure themselves. They can go too far, too fast. Aries is can be too, what do they call it? Impulsive. And with that Uranus square on the Mercury and Venus, just all I'm saying for the fire signs is this is a powerful energy that you're supposed to tap into. So just hold the horse a little bit.
Yeah, that I can completely relate to that, with that fire sort of energy. Yeah. Impulsive.
And don't forget, Mars rules you in that Scorpio.
Oh, true. Yeah. So it's going to be
and
even
Aries
more.
Is Mars ruled.
Yeah.
So your Aries houses are getting very fired up.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So what about those earthy Tauruses?
Well, Taurus are going to have their sun at the beginning of the month in their 12th house. So they're very introspective. They're in their own little world a little bit, but possibly feeling safe communicating on social media, but that's going to change when Mercury goes into your 12th house. Again, the fire sign, you may be very proactively clearing karma and communications too at that period. But with Mercury going into your sign, right? Mercury goes into Taurus and Venus goes into Taurus. It's a really nice time to ground new relationships, to clear up toxicity in your patterns in communicating, and sort of initiating. Really, the Venus is going to be in your sign, so you could really upgrade financially. Because Venus is also a sign for finances, so you could possibly become quite financially and possibly romantically. It's a very good chance that a lot of people, especially Taurans, anyone ruled by Venus, are going to go into mission with their divine mates, with their true loves, because the Mars on the North Node, and then with these planets, with Venus in your own house, I say you're going to lay down structure to some kind of a new project, a new definition for your purpose, and it's going to most likely involve a relationship.
How interesting. And so it's so funny to me too that that today on this particular podcast recording that my guy happens to pop right in and be a part of it right as we're moving into this sort of energy, and you know, he and I are working on some projects together. So I think it's kind of funny that might be part of it. Very exciting.
Yes. And I think that's going to flow through to everybody right now, because that's the nature of Taurus energy, is to, and Taurus is money. So, you know, it's the house. So I think this is, I really, honestly, really believe we're really initiating a very auspicious period right now.
Beautiful. I think that would make many people feel a lot more comfortable in where they are.
And yeah, with Venus and Taurus is a really good time to initiate things.
Okay.
Very abundant. It really sets your, in astrology, when you start things, where the time you start things can really have an impact as to how successful they are. So these are really supportive energies for starting things.
Yeah. That's so true. Timing, you know, there is that saying, timing is everything. That's
right.
Yeah.
And Mars in your second house, you could be in for a good financial, you know, upgrade. We've got the North Node there in your second house too, Mars conjuncting your North Node. Possibly you're going to redefine your ways of making money. That is more in alignment with your true purpose. That brings you more joy and excitement and fun. And with those planets in Aries at the beginning of the month, you're going to be motivated. Taurans are a little bit hard to move, and they don't like change. They like things to stay the same.
Yeah.
So in a way, they might be a little nervous about all the change, and it's risk takers. Taurans are your least risk takers. In their card reads, I'm always saying the cards can say you're safe. You can take a risk, because Taurans are very grounded. They're the ones who can take a risk. You know, they're very safe, right? So you're going to feel like bold to take a risk, and then you're going to snap down really fast and create security around it. You know, because all these planets are now in Taurus. So it's like, you're going to like that. And it's going to make you money. It's a good house for money, for sure.
Awesome.
You know, these are going to make you, all of this, by the way, for everybody, because we have Uranus in the sign of Taurus right now, is going to liberate people in about 7 years. Whatever you initiate now, you will take you to a financial liberation in about five years or so, when Taurus goes into Gemini.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a note to read a little bit more about that.
Yeah, Uranus and Taurus. Yep. Taurus transited into Uranus on May 15th, 2018, because that's when I bought my land. That's why I bought my land, because Taurus, land, I knew it was safe to invest, because whatever I did on that day, in 7 years, when Uranus leaves Taurus, I will have a financial security. And so far, it's absolutely 100% true. My property's tripled in value.
That's amazing, Madelaine. Oh, cool.
I know. When you learn astrology, your life becomes uber abundant.
That is really, really cool.
I know. And I would never have made that risk. I was buying way above my head. I never would have taken that risk if it weren't for the astrology that I knew, had I not known my astrology.
Yeah. Yeah. And you trusted it. I think that's the other key that is important to make note of, is that even if you know it, you've got to trust the process and trust what's happening in your life, because you know, it's the energy, and there's the knowledge, but then it also has to be integrated into the rest of you. I know that, you know, I can give an example with a relationship that I was in with someone, where I felt like I was in a very different place. In my mind, I had forgiven, everything was great. But when I would engage with this person, I was not engaging from a heart forgiveness place and really coming together with that person in a loving way. I was coming together in this mental kind of like, it's all fine way. Right. And we weren't clicking. We were not connecting. It wasn't working. Right. Until I realized, like, okay, my head has forgiven, like I logically get it, but my heart has not. And until I found a place of softness there and married the two together, were we able to really connect in a genuine way? So it's almost like this strikes me as being very similar, where you really, the knowledge is great, but then you have to have the faith and trust that it's going to be fine, even if it doesn't seem like it. Like you said, you took a big risk with a large amount of money and it paid off threefold.
Yes.
So, you know,
I would never have done it if it wasn't for that transit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, and I think the other piece of it too, that might be beneficial to people is, you know, if maybe not jump into the deep end of the pool, maybe try jumping into the shallow end where you can stand. And what I mean by that is try a little experiment with it. You know, maybe there's some small thing that you can do where okay, I'm gonna play with this. Think of it as a playful experiment versus, okay, well, all of this looks good. I've got somebody saying, yeah, now is the time to buy something, and you plunk all your savings into something where you're not, you know, but you're not ready because it was not the right energetic time for you as far as your faith and trust in what was going on. So maybe a smaller step, you know, where it's, okay, now would be a good time to have a conversation with a friend about boundaries. You know, that's a little bit smaller risk than plunking down $500,000 or something on, you know, 100 acres of land. I'm making it up, but I'm just saying, like, you know, for some people, they may need to take it slow.
Smaller baby steps, especially Taurus.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Taurans do not like to rock their security too much. They like that stability. It's the opposite of Scorpio, by the way. Taurans, so Scorpios are here to rock their stability. They're here to not be so secure. They're here to risk.
Yeah. It's been so interesting. Yeah, because I got the Taurus moon and Scorpio rising. So it's like I'm in conflict with myself a little bit. And I can see that in my life a lot, you know, and my moon and my sun are often in conflict with one another. So it's interesting. Okay.
But your moon is exalted, by the way. So always listen to your moon, just so you know. You have an exalted moon.
Okay, that's good to know.
Your moon, the more you know about your exalted planets, the more you operate. If you have an argument with your planets, listen to your exalted planet. Your exalted planet's going to win. Okay.
And when Madelaine says exalted planet, it means that basically my moon is in Taurus, and because it's in its home sign. Venus is in its home sign. It's exalted. It is exalted. I'm like stumbling over myself. And then can you share a little bit more about that? Because I don't know enough about it to share it.
Yes, when you have exalted planets, that's where life is going to be easy for you. That's where your solutions are. That's where, because I study a lot of charts with exalted planets in them, and they literally don't try. Like John Mayer has a ton of exalted planets at the top of his chart. He just was successful at the age of like 20. He barely even, like, he just picked up his guitar. That's because he has past life karma. He was ready for it. He's already done a lot of ego clearing in your past life. So in my opinion, you come in with exalted planets where you've done a lot of good work. And so you get the benefics of that planet sort of amplified, and you get a facility. It's easy. And then your detrimental planets in your chart, where they're in detriment, is where you do have to work harder at it. You have to learn some lessons there. You have to sort of, like, if you have Jupiter and Capricorn, you've got to get over your ego and do your mission. You know, so some people think, oh, Jupiter and Capricorn is it's detrimental. It just means that when you're aware of that, like I don't have a detrimental planet, but I have planets that aren't like great, like Venus and Capricorn isn't great. You know, but I really learned my lesson on that. I know how to make it better. And that is to release control of relationships, big time. So I know I've got that issue in my planet. So it makes me really conscious of it. When you become conscious of your malefics and your detrimental planets, you really behave. You like, whoa, I'm not like, I know why that's in my chart.
Yeah, I'm not messing with that. I'm
gonna make sure you got to put more effort in your detriments and less effort in your exalted. But if you become conscious of your exalted, you ease the operation of it. You let it flow. Taurus, moon and Taurus are they're really awesome people. They're very liked. So you're a very stable person for people. People gravitate towards you. You're socially really cool. Moon Taurus people are some of my favorite people.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, so it's like you have a wonderful personality, you're grounded, you sense. Taurus moon people really know other people's energies. They're very intuitive. They may not be able to like express it. Taurus is not the most um are like verbally active. It's earthy, it's more grounded. So they have a harder time necessarily communicating what they feel, but they'll tell you that person's no good. Like boom, don't that's I'm not like
Yeah.
boom, they feel it.
They just know. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so let's see about Gemini. So we know Taurus moons in particular are amazing. I mean,
Yes.
I'm one of them, so of course
Yeah.
I say that. Just kidding.
Woohoo.
Yeah, but what
that.
about those little Geminis? How are they?
Okay,
How are
Gemini.
they
Well,
looking to
you're
fare
gonna
this?
yeah, Geminis have Mars in their sign most of the month till the end there, right? Till it goes into Cancer. And this is hitting in their first house or 12th house, depending where your ascendant degree is. Um, but for Gemini, we have Mars in your first house, the North Node in your first house, with all these planets in Aries are hitting your 11th house. So I would say for Gemini, you've got some activation, again, tribes, friends. You could you could shift into a new tribe, new friendship group that then creates communication for, because we have everything in your first house. You're going to redefine your identity. You're realizing that you want to be more out in the, you're going to have a lot of cleared ego that got in the way of you being more out in the world and being more like you had a little bit of vanity that held you back. Like that's because you kind of this redefinition of who you really are. You're going to really see who you are, what your mission is, and you're going to have a bold confidence about it. And you're going to get over your ego about what people think. Because anytime you've got some of this movement in your 11th house that's expanding, you've broken through a layer of like caring about what people think of you. The 11th house is embracing what's odd and different about you and coming out anyway and going, all right, well, I may not look like $1 million, but I'm sort of, you may feel like you don't look like a model and you shouldn't go on social media. Let's just use that as an example.
Okay.
And you're like, you know what, but I look great the way I just like my look now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with it. And it's like fun. I'm going to have fun with it. Gemini is a very fun, playful sign. So it's all in your first house. I think Geminis are going to wake up to having more fun in what they do in their careers and their missions and getting out there and being sort of less self-conscious, because in order to propel your new mission, you're going to have to get out there. You've got all these planets in your 11th house.
Wow. So Gemini's got some stuff going on.
Yeah, they've probably got good, they've got Jupiter and Saturn in their 9th house, which is really nice. That's like travel, open-minded, things opening up, Jupiter expanding knowledge, probably people knowing about you too gets expanded in that energy, your mission, your purpose. You're getting very supported to sort of lead the world with more higher consciousness type actions. I'm sort of on the cusp of Gemini and Cancer, so I kind of relate with my Instagram feed I started, where I was really self-conscious, really afraid of doing this.
Yes.
And my North Node hit right now. So I often see that I've got Gemini placements in my chart. And in Vedic, I'm Gemini. So
you can sense that. You can feel
that.
Yeah,
I can kind of feel, I relate a little bit to the Gemini thing, and I'm 0 degrees Cancer. So I'm at about 29 degrees Gemini too. It's like I'm a few minutes away from that. So I relate to the Gemini thing.
Yeah.
So yeah. And what else can I say about Gemini? You are up for more joy in general. I mean, really, I would say you're getting out of yourself.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're getting out of yourself and getting yourself out on social. That's really kind of what I'm doing too. Like you're getting over your own little, I just don't know.
You're just going for it. That's that Aries initiation sort of pushing or pulling, however you want to see it.
Exactly, because you're going to be very active because you've got Mars in your first house, and Mars is ruled, all these Aries planets are ruled by Mars. So, I'd have to look at the rest of your chart, of course, but you're going to have definitely change of your life. Things are redefining your purpose, but it's going to be more fun. Gemini are stepping more into their playful vibe.
Yay.
Because they just had this new moon in their 5th house, this full moon in their 5th house, which is all about clearing your karmic baggage that stops you from having joy.
So bring on the joy.
Yeah, for Gemini. Have fun, Gemini. It's your nature.
Yeah. All right. So those Cancerians, those watery, crabby creature.
Yeah, water guy.
How is this going to feel for them?
North Node, 12th house, Mars in your 12th house. What does that mean? Well, another thing about the 12th house is it's very spiritual, it's very connected, it's psychic, it's connected with Pisces, but we're looking at what's the energy of Mars in the sign of Geminis. Gemini's in your 12th house. I would say for Cancer people, they're going to have a shift in belief. There's going to be a new way of seeing their karma, because I think there's planets in the 12th house clear karma. So you're going to clear your karma belief system, that because in our we got the Aries energy that held you back, and you're going to clear karma, and it's usually with yourself. Karma a lot of times is with yourself. So for Cancer, they're going to start becoming less sensitive, less sort of, I want to say, they're going to shift their energies from protective to more service, to more in their mission. They're going to have a redefinition. They're going to feel more confident. Aries coming in on the picture. Mars is there. They're going to become more confident about what they channel and receive from the higher realms, because it's the 12th house again. Higher knowledge, information, Gemini over the 12th house. So they're going to sort of upgrade their knowledge, their mission of what they know. And they might be slightly more isolated during this period, channeling higher information that redefines their purpose. So they may find that they might be studying stuff. But then we've got this Aries stuff, but also things are going ahead. So you've got planets in the 12th house, and you've got another life kind of happening,
Yeah.
So yeah, and you've got all these Aries planets. Aries is your 10th house for your career. Your career is going to go. A lot of this Aries energy is go time for your careers, Cancer ascendants. It's all hitting in their 10th house. Aries covers your 10th house. And you're going to be bold initiators in your career, and it's going to go well. It's going to be supported. And your knowledge of what you're sort of meditating on in your 12th house is going to be, I mean, now it makes me think of what's going to happen to me. I'm realizing what I channel in the 12th house, and that Instagram feed I'm starting on my channeling is probably going to start taking off.
Well, we were just talking about that before that we started recording today, about how things are really.
Yeah. And aren't I being like totally unafraid of it now? Like I'm just getting out there and doing it and just saying it and just doing it, like not afraid of what people think. The mixture of the Gemini and Cancer thing. It's weird, because as I'm talking about this, I'm not thinking about my life, but then I'm going, wait a minute.
Wait a second. Yeah. which is fantastic, because I know that Madelaine and I had a conversation about this very thing, this channel and stepping out, and she was so uncomfortable. I think we spent a good amount of time kind of getting, both of us kind of in our zone and getting to a place where you felt like, okay.
Yeah, you gave me, I really know you were the one that said you should do it. It was because if you said that I did it.
Yeah, I think you were ready. It's just you needed somebody to hold space for you, to share the experience.
That wasn't like a wacky thing. Like it was just like a crazy idea. Like, no, you can do it. I'm like, really? Yeah. Okay.
And I think that's sometimes what we all need, is we need somebody that can listen to us impartially, without judgment, and hold space and really allow whatever information is meant to come through. Like anyone that you can be with can be a messenger for you, can be a channel of pure information that you need to know. And you'll know the answer because you'll feel it. If I said, Madelaine, do it, here are all these reasons why, and here are all of these things that we can look at. But if it didn't feel right to you, if it didn't resonate with you as truth, you would not have done it.
Right, that's true.
Absolutely. And so it's
what was stopping me was my ego, was what people would think of me. People think I'm crazy. People think, fear. Should I do this? Is it weird? Is it really weird? All that kind of stuff.
Sure.
That was stopping me. So now I'm like, and then literally, even though I started this feed like a couple weeks ago, in the last couple of days now, these planets are coming into Aries. I'm on there going, boom, boom, boom. I can feel it. Do it. Go. Make connections, do it, and it's like, wow, I can just feel the fire in me about it now.
It's happening. And and so it's so important, I think, for all of us as human beings. We crave connection. It's part of our nature. We are if you believe that the theory of oneness, we're all the same, we're all connected in some way.
Yeah.
I think it's so helpful if you have a person, whether it's a coach, a counselor, a guide. I'm not particularly fond of the name guru because I feel like it makes someone feel like higher than when
Right.
that isn't the case. But if you
Well,
a
the
friend like,
real meaning of the word guru is actually in translation means bringer of light.
right.
So but our culture has given it sort of a weird thing about it. You're right.
Exactly. Same like shaman means teacher,
Right.
and that has a whole different connotation.
Right.
So really, my point being is sometimes you need somebody that has a role of being a safe space holder and an impartial catalyst for you. And that could be a friend, or it could be someone, similar to myself. I mean, what I do when I share with the world is offering a safe space for people to share their most intimate struggles
Yes.
and their vulnerabilities in a way that they feel like it's okay, and they feel like they can share all of this and get it off their chest, and then be guided with the steps to heal, to make amends, to whatever it is, whatever might be coming up for them. So I would encourage anyone listening who feels like that's something for them. They're feeling this action energy. They're feeling this need to step out and take a bold action or a bold move. And there's something holding you back. Reach out to me, reach out to Madelaine for some guidance. Talk to a trusted friend, a friend that will allow you to share your hopes and your dreams and your aspirations, and give you some sound advice, or just allow you to share it so that you receive a message that you're meant to receive in that moment. I think
And
that's huge.
managing our vibrations is really what we're here to do. And if you're struggling in low vibes and you're stuck, we're not supposed to suffer and struggle by ourselves on this planet. That's the reason the source made so many people. So that we could all help each other out and not struggle alone. And like you say, we're in the age of Aquarius now. It's not about struggling and being by yourself. We're collectively as a group, we're going to pull us all together and up.
Which sounds so nice. And it is, all right. So what about those fiery Leos, the lions?
Let's see. Let's see where Aries, all these Aries hitting in your ninth house. Planets are going to be hitting in your ninth house. Travel, higher knowledge, higher education, again, writing, publishing, bringing out, you said the word guru, but really anytime you get planets in the ninth house, you really are seeking higher consciousness, which is they call it the guru house. So we are looking at you kind of maybe stepping forward in your Leo leadership. Leos are leaders into higher consciousness. Mercury, you're going to be ready to talk. House. Aries covers your ninth house. Wow, you're leaders and initiators of higher consciousness. And then you've got Mercury going to be in your ninth house. I haven't really been talking about what house everything is going to change into, but that's next month. We'll focus more on that Taurus energy for the next month. But for you, your 11th house, you're probably going to initiate some kind of, you've got Taurus, you've got the Mars and the North Node in your 11th house. You might become initiator of a new definition. Again, you might come out into the public with something that you expand on. Again, maybe what you're doing now, social media, you might have clarity to redefine your social media account or your vlogging or what you're doing. You're going to get like higher ideas, more inspiration, ways that you can bring more light, all that kind of stuff. But again, look at travel. That's very much another option here. Again, a lot of energy, a lot of movement. This is a fiery sign, a fiery house. You might want to, shorten your reins a little.
I mean,
it's get up and go. And let's just say, it's busy for you.
Yeah, well, I can say already,
you can feel it.
April is already really proving to be a very, very busy month.
Yeah, and you've got 7th house of relationships, Saturn and Jupiter in your 7th house of relationships. So this is with a relationship, which I know happens to be a part of your story. So it's the astrology. Yeah. And you might be starting like a business or something, or a new adventure, and it could be involving writing. Don't forget, all of this could be absolutely involving writing. writing a play that brings the light and higher consciousness, or writing kind of some kind, because don't forget, Leo is the creative, is self-expression. It's the knowledge of who you are and what you're here to, it's the Leo, the sun is the self, the I mean, not the self, but the confidence in yourself too.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a good time for Leos. I really believe that they're going to feel very confident to step forward and be there and be more freedom, because you're gonna overcome some kind of self-consciousness too.
I can say, yeah, a lot of that totally
Yeah.
resonates with me being the Leo sun
Yeah.
that I am. So yeah, very cool.
Yeah. Is that good? More? I mean, I could say,
Yeah.
let's what else? Yep. You
Yeah,
got
thanks so much.
Uranus in your 10th house. Uranus got Taurus over your 10th house. That's nice.
What is the energy of that?
Well, that's 10th house is your career. So I would say that all your efforts right now are all this that you're going, you see, you don't know that until you look at astrology. You're going, oh, all this hard work where you are right now is going
Yeah.
to bring you financial windfall and financial independence, complete and utter what they call Uranus is financial emancipation.
Oh, how
So
interesting.
that's hitting in your career of 10th house. So something in your career will emancipate you financially.
That's beautiful. I'll take it.
Like
All right, let's see. Pardon?
Sold.
Sold. Yes, sold. I am sold.
Now we're moving to Scorpio, your ascendant, right?
Well, actually, first a Virgo. From Leo to Virgo.
Why did we miss Virgo? Oh yeah, we're on Virgo. I get confused with my icon. I draw it sloppy and it looks like Virgo. It looks like
Right.
Scorpio.
Instead of, yes, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
You're quite
That's why it's good to have two people doing this.
Yeah.
Okay, Virgo, 8th house. Ooh, could be good for money. All this Aries energy in your 8th house, sexuality too, but also finances. You might get out of debt. You might get lucky windfall money from other people, or you might feel very motivated to seek financial assistance, get a loan, get a house mortgage or something, finances. But also you might initiate a relationship, sexual energy. Mars is very sexual energy. I forgot to mention all of that Aries energy. We are in springtime. Watch out, people might get pregnant.
Okay. Those who do not want to get pregnant, be on the lookout. Yeah. Those who do, now's the time.
Yes, take precautions. Mars is a very horny energy. Okay, try to do it. A G-rated version of that.
Yes. But anyway, yes.
So Virgo could be quite active because they're going to have Mercury, Venus in their 7th house too. So this could be quite a romantic period for Virgo, but initiation. Now let's look at Mars, where Mars is in their Virgo in their 10th house, career, commissioning with a divine mate, or 7th house can also be like close personal contracts. It can be a business partner. So 8th house, everything in Aries in your 8th house. And then when something's in Taurus, it's in your 9th house. So when the planets go into your 9th house, possible travel involved, but somehow you're clearing up financial karma. You've cleared up financial karma and sexual karma. And it looks like you're going to be financially upgraded and possibly income from a spouse. You could get a tax inheritance, or you have to be proactive, because wherever Aries is, you do have to initiate.
Okay.
So you may initiate refinancing your property, or paying off a debt or something, or managing your finances that liberates you.
Right.
This is good energy to do it. You'll have success. It's covering your 8th house. What else can we say? The North Node, 10th house of career. So yeah, it's very possible something could happen in your career. You're redefining that upgrades your finances, that enables you to clear off debt or pay off taxes, or you get a tax return that enables you to take a risk in your career, to redesign, to redirect your career. It makes you financially independent right now, so you can actually take a career risk.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think most people wouldn't mind a little bit of a tax refund, or a little something, little something back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. What about Libra?
Libra. Well, a lot of this Aries energy is in your 7th house. You're gonna, and Aries is where you need to initiate. So I'm going to say again, this is similar to the full moon energies, but you're going to initiate relationships. You're going to initiate, you're going to be proactive in your relationships, possibly ignite a relationship with a business partner. Let me look at where this Mars is energy for Aries in their ninth, in Libra, in their ninth houses. So you've got Mars in the North Node in your ninth house. You're going through an awakening. You're going through a spiritual awakening, realizing that you want to walk a higher path, and you're going to initiate relationships that can partner with you. Libra is the sign of relationships. So you're going to, and you've got Aries over your seventh house when you're an ascendant Libra. So you can't, and what happens with Libras, and I see this with Aries over their seventh house, is they have, in the shadow aspect, can be sabotaging of their relationships, causing separation, might be a little bit aggressive, but in the positive aspect, they move forward towards union, towards mission, and co-create with a mate in a way that creates a lot of abundance. So plus Taurus Taurus is Venus ruled. Your sign is Libra's Venus ruled. This could be very financially auspicious for you. And also, I think you're going to get a new identity, a more realistic version of you. Because the other thing you can look at for Taurus is the word you can use is realistic. You know, Taurus is a realistic energy. So we're getting these planets moving into Taurus. So you're going to start being more practical, more down to earth, more take caring of things in your relationship. You're going to stop. Libra have a way of operating superficially in relationships because they don't like to throw balance out. They're always trying to keep the relationship balanced. So in their shadow aspect, when they're fear, they tend to try to control it by either running. Air energy kind of runs and stuff. So, and Aries energy kind of runs too. So they might turn around and really take on and take more like responsibility in showing up in an honest way, because Libra can be honest to manipulate situations, not in a bad motive, but to maintain balance. So now they're going to show up and be more risk-taking. Remember, Aries is a risk-taking energy, to initiate relationships that can take you into a mission, co-missioning with more honesty of showing up as who you really are, being a spokesman for your own, because you got to be more selfish, Libra. So you got to speak up for your interest in the situation, things like that.
Nice.
Libras are going to be more Aries-like, if there is another way to say it.
Well, and like you said, similar to this most recent full moon energy, it's about that balance within the relationship. So they're speaking up for yourself may bring the relationship into balance. So it's
right. You're right. They don't set very good boundaries.
Yeah.
That's one of the things they're going to start learning to do, is be courageous and set a boundary.
Yeah.
And then they'll go, oh, I didn't lose the relationship. I set a boundary and it didn't go, because we are fated. Either it's a fated business partnership, and it's safe to set boundaries to your fated relationships. They don't go away. But a lot of times you're too afraid to set a boundary.
Yeah. I think most people, well, I don't want to make a blanket statement, but I think that is a fear that a lot of people have.
Do,
you know, you're scared of speaking up or saying no to something because you're afraid the person will go away or they'll be upset. And so that's powerful.
I volunteered at a horse mission rescuer, where they rescued, very hardly horses that have been through a lot of trauma and stuff. And the horses create like a little herd and when you approach the herd, the one horse will come to you and say, like, who you don't get to be in the herd, right? And I was doing that. I was kind of trying to I was experimenting with all of this with the horses, like my energy and stuff. And the horse would come out and would nip me.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, why are you nipping me? Like, what's up? And then I went to talk to somebody, said, every time I go there, this one horse comes up and kind of nips me. And it's like really bugging me. She goes, you don't set boundaries very well, do you? And I went, I'm not a boundary setter. I know about no. You can sense that the horse is coming to bite you. Why did you let it bite you? You could sense it. And I said, you're right. So I went up there, the horse came at me and I went, don't even think about nipping at me. Just don't. And the horse went, whoo. Okay, dude, I'm not going to do it. Like, it was like the horse wants to make sure you're not in fear zone, because if you're in fear mode and if you're in fear mode, you're not setting boundaries because you're afraid. And the horses don't want you in their tribe if you're in a lower frequency of fear energy, because you attract predator. Lower frequency smells of adrenaline. It causes a weaker energy for the tribe, and then you're all more susceptible to the predator. So they text you. They said, are you a boundary setter?
How interesting. That's such
I
a fun
know,
story,
isn't
Madelaine.
it great? I
Yeah.
learned so much about that boundary setting from being around horses.
Wow. Animals are amazing.
I know.
Learn
They
so
do it in
much.
such a good way. They really know, like the horse wasn't hurting me. He was just going, hey, step up to yourself.
Right.
Stand
Yeah.
up for yourself.
Oh, that's so nice.
And I'm a preemptive boundary setter.
The horse taught you a lot. I mean,
A lot.
that's really, really neat. All right, now let's dive into Scorpio.
All right.
Scorpio.
Now, careers, you're getting all this Aries energy over your career house. I mean, not career, 10th is career, but 6th house is work, day to day. It's like what you do on a day-to-day level, on a day-to-day basis, routine.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that with Aries there and all this initiation, I'm going to say you're going to have a whole new routine.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it's going to be your initiation because Aries is our own initiation, but because an opportunity is going to come in that's going to cause you to initiate. So we got a lot of planets in your 6th house. That's a new whole day-to-day way of living. Something's going to shift in your life where your life is different on a day-to-day basis. And you've got Mars and North Node in your 8th house. You could get financing. You could get a bunch of money that helps you on a project that's your mission, that's your true. And again, it could be spiritual or something because the 8th house is very occultish, spiritual type of thing. So you could have it very abundant because we get the North Node in your 8th house too, with that Mars conjunction Gemini, information, but money possibly coming from another support funding for your mission project or a project, but or inheritance. Again, anytime we get 8th house. But also the most incredible thing about Mars and all this activity in your 8th house is you're going to break through fears of not having money. You're not going to let money hold you back. You're going to because you're bold. Remember, Mars is Aries is like confidence, bold, risk taking. So
Yeah.
you're going to go for something and you're going to not be sure if you get the money, or you might know you get the money for it, but you're going to go for it and you're going to get the money for it. You can't have Mars and the North Node in your 8th house. You're going to get some kind of a tax return, some kind of a funding, inheritance, something that supports your mission.
So for anyone who's has been listening or following Madelaine and I in our moon and cosmic journey, I've been sharing all along about the potential for a move. Now, while the 6th house does not necessarily directly correlate with a move, moving would definitely shake up my day-to-day routine. And one of the biggest pieces, the stumbling blocks for me is, if I sell where I currently am, where am I going? And where's the money coming from in order for me to do that?
You're going to get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
funny thing. You've got Jupiter and Saturn in your 4th house, which is moving.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, you're going to wake up wherever Jupiter and Saturn are in your charts, wherever anybody has it, you're going to wake up. You're going to realize, you're going to expand. You're going to expand your structure. Your foundation is going to change. It's going to go bigger, expand. And so for you, that's all in your 4th house. So it's a good chance you're moving.
Well, and that's the thing. I actually almost put my place on the market recently, and I didn't.
Time to do it.
Yeah, I didn't because I was scared it was going to sell. And then I thought about how crazy that is. Whoever puts their house on the market.
Work out, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's going to sell fast, and I'm not going to have anywhere to go, and then what I'm going to do, and all of this was kind of stirred up with me, and I thought I'm just going to wait. I'm not in a rush. I'm just now this is giving me a little bit more insight into this. Maybe
this would be a good time to put your house on the market. Remember, I said it's self-initiation here with the Aries over your 8th house.
Yeah.
You could do well. I wouldn't. I remembered it's the do it energy.
Yeah, do it. Oh, how interesting. Yeah, so the card, I do a card of the day every day on Instagram and Facebook. Yeah. And I believe the card for today was do it anyway.
Oh, really? I'm going to pull a tarot. Should she sell her house? Oh my God, I get the yes. I get a finance opportunity with twin flame. finance, opportunity, twin flame, be at peace. But yes, there's a new start, something, and this could be the law of the house or something, but something's happening here. The cards, the deck just pretty much exploded in my hand.
It really did. I know. I saw. Yeah, it did.
Like, it was very weird. I was like, whoa. And then there's this good times,
Yeah.
party fun. That's the other thing I want to tell everybody. We really are in for much better fun times, everybody, because we've all been in the cage, you know.
Yes, and I think that's what I think that's one thing that I've been recognizing a lot lately, and with working with my clients and just being out in the world a bit, is that everyone is ready to just let their hair down a bit and relax and not feel so confined and constricted and controlled. It's just like, can we take our masks off and breathe?
Yes.
And we just really like ease into life a little bit more. So I know we're talking about this do it energy, and there is that sense of people do want to get out there and do things again. But do it without so much fear.
Chiron has been in Aries all year, and Chiron is conjuncting the sun and everything right now. So we are getting over our wounding. We are feeling more over in all this lockdown and stuff. People really got an opportunity to look at themselves and reevaluate their issues, and you self-reflective. And so now with Chiron's been there the whole time showing us our wounding. So we're kind of over some wounds now. We're ready to go. We're over the funk.
Yeah. Well, all right. So then now let's do a segue into Sag, because Sag is more of that fiery, moving forward sort of energy.
Yes. And their Aries for Sag covers their 5th house, you know. That's fire.
That's a lot.
Sagittarians, I'm speaking to you all. I hope you're listening to me right now. Jet propulsion, hold your horsies back. Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. They overdo stuff. They can try too hard. You don't have to try, Sagittarians. Just relax. You've got fire, things are going to go. You got the 5th house, sign of, again, a fire house, but creativity, inspiration, a possible relationships too, by the way, if you've been single or a friend turns into a relationship, something becomes more serious. Mars, you've got a lot of relationship stuff, Saggies. You've got Mars and North Node in your house of relationships, 7th house of contracts. You very well may get involved in a relationship and sign a contract. Could get married.
Could it go the other way too, where you're in a relationship and you decide to part ways, or is it more upping? Okay. So it's both.
I think that a lot of people that are in the wrong relationships, unless it's in your fate to still be in a wrong relationship, most people have cleared up their karmic relationships by this point.
Okay.
Because we're stepping into mission, and mission is involving your true divine. It's a fated destiny. It's where your rainbow pot of gold is at the end of your rainbow.
Okay.
So Sagittarians have a lot. That's good, and also the 5th house is like it's acting, it's the stage, it's performing. So Sagittarians, because we've got Aries over that, they may feel a certain amount of confidence to initiate a performing or creative project with a spouse. But again, it's going to be fun and joy. It's a good time. It's a good house. It's fun. What else can I see about Sagittarians? Mars in their 7th house. They may sign a contract and do a creative project with somebody that they are going to be, it's a contracted relationship. It could also be romantic though, with the 5th house. It's very romantic. It can be a romantic thing. Saturn and Jupiter in your 3rd houses, possibly initiating a career, because Saturn and Jupiter went into your 3rd houses there at that December 21st conjunction. So it would have fed you the seeds and the ideas and the download of some sort of entrepreneurial project. I think you're going to get involved in a creative project with your divine mate or a business partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. And plus that Libra covers your 11th house. So you're probably not, I would say when you're not going to be afraid of your ego is going to be gone around being out in the world, and you're going to sort of be like more confident and more like accepting of your flaws, and realizing that that's kind of holds you back. Sagittarians can be a little vain.
Yes.
I'm telling you this because I'm Sagittarius. I'm talking about me right here, okay?
Yeah, I have one of my closest friends is also a Sag, and she also can be in the most beautiful way,
I know.
not disparaging at all, but
Yeah.
yeah, she's gotten over a lot of that in the past few years, where it just does not affect her like it used to, but it did for quite some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this.
So yeah, those North Node in your seventh house and Mars, you're gonna hear that's Gemini over your seventh house. Gemini is a relationship sign. You know, it's the archetypal masculine, feminine, the male, the gruff man with a you know, stump, or I don't know, just like
Club.
man.
Yeah.
Club. And then the
Yeah.
feminine, ethereal, the most extreme opposite is like feminine spirit, like, you know, ethereal, and the material. And so you've got that over your seventh house, contracting. So you're really partnering up in these dual energies, causing expansion. And you've got Jupiter and Saturn in your third house. So it's possible you come up to a business, or you write. Again, these are writing houses, and Sagittarius is a ninth house writing thing. Again, a creative writing project, possibly with a divine mate, or with another partner that you go into business with. But Gemini over your seventh house is going to be a really nice thing, because it's a good energy, because it's a really harmonic seventh house is the house of Libra, and you've got Gemini there. So it's going to be a harmonic union. It's a very nice balance situation.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Capricorns.
Right. Well, that's in your fourth house, all this Aries energy in your fourth house. You may move, Capricorns. In fact, I know a Capricorn I was just talking to. It's so funny on the phone. He was going, I'm done here. This place is taking me nowhere. And I'm like, whoa, I'm now thinking, wow, I'm thinking back on that conversation. They are probably going to move. And then we've got, finances, Saturn and Jupiter. You've cleared a lot of Sagittarians we're in Capricorn. Sorry. Capricorns have they have Jupiter, they have Aquarius over their second house. So they have possibly a new way of making money that's much more expansive for them. That's they're breaking out of their paradigm in how they earn money. Remember, everybody is breaking out of an old paradigm. Okay. So now I forgot to sort of add that. So for Capricorn, you're breaking out of your mental restricted notions of how to make money, and you're initiating over your fourth house, possibly a real estate thing too, making money over real estate, taking initiations to move so you can make better money. Where's your North Node? Your North Node for Capricorns is in your sixth, and Mars is in your sixth. So yeah, you're going to be redefining your day-to-day life. Could be also health is sixth house, changing something so you have better health. You could make a move so that you live in somewhere that's healthier, and you figure out how to make money at home so you can move. And you got this little seed download on the 21st, and you've been going like this about it ever since, and now you're going to go do it.
Wow. So this is to share with everybody about a personal example that highlights this so clearly, and also curious to ask you a question, Madelaine, about this. Yeah. So my guy who had his little cameo appearance here just a moment ago, he is a Capricorn sun. And he is actually right now working through just making some changes to improve his health. He's just had a couple of things that have been holding him back a bit. You mentioned his North Node on his sixth house, the day-to-day stuff. Well, with what we were talking about before with the Leo, for me, sixth house. So if you're in a relationship with someone, curious, because look, there's only been so many houses and only so many signs and only been so many energies. If you're in a relationship with someone and you have all of these overlaps where in both of your sun signs, you've got this energy, different houses, obviously, so different areas of interest, the fact that he's also got the sixth house energy, also fourth house energy around moving. So we're kind of tracking somewhat with the same sorts of energies. Would you venture to say, if you are looking at like two people in a relationship and you see a lot of these overlaps, that it's almost like the universe is supporting whatever those items are? Would you say that's true?
Absolutely 100%. That's why you do synastry charts, because and what's fascinating about synastry charts, this is how I know when someone is fated, and anybody can do this. You can pull up synastry charts online. If you've got a lot of synastry, that's another way of saying you're fated. Because what happens is you both have planets in the same areas,
Yeah.
and they're both going to get triggered at the same time. So then you're both going to move at the same time. You're both going to, you share your triggers. That's how I know you're fated, not because your planets are together and you're together, but because you're going to both, your charts are going to be ignited at the same time.
Right.
Those particular, like for instance, my guy has his Venus is on my Jupiter. That's a really strong sign that you're fated. And why? Because it'll activate his Venus to act, and my Jupiter is husband. So it becomes, it causes union. So when both of our planets are ignited, it's going to cause some kind of a union between us.
Right.
It's going to, because we're both in the same spot it's the same thing happening. So you get like, especially travel for sure. And again, day-to-day routine shifting, you're both going to get activated in that part of your charts.
Right.
And on your charts are aligned that way. It's
Right.
fate. That's when you really wake up, you go, whoa. Some of these MCs, when I look at charts of people's and I see their some planet conjuncting an MC, like a Jupiter is conjuncting an MC, or like an ascendant conjuncting an MC, that's like 15 minutes difference, and that wouldn't be there.
Right. And when Madelaine's talking about the MC, that's the top of your chart. And that's like, that's the big time, you know, anything up in your midheaven, that tells a lot about kind of the purpose, the flavor of your life, like how your life is presented, unfolds, and
secret. It's your secret. If that movie, The Secret, I believe I love that film, but also the secret is knowing your MC, knowing your midheaven. It's where God wants you. Once you operate in your MC energy and you understand that, your life goes.
Just moves right along.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything further about the Capricorns need to know?
Let me take a little looky-loos. Uranus in your 5th house. So you could get pregnant. Just watch out, those 5th house energies. I would say that's pretty much it for Capricorn.
Okay.
Day to day, or pregnancy can always also mean a project, just so you know.
Okay.
A creative project. It's 5th house. That's Uranus in the 5th house. That will make you financial liberation. Okay. So I was just looking at that really quick. And this moon was in the 10th house of career, Libra in the 10th house, which means career move with a divine mate, with a true mate in the Libra sign. So yeah, I think that's clear. We can go on now to Aquarii.
Yes, to those Aquarians.
3rd house. Aries covers your 3rd house, Aquarius. So writing, projects. I want to see where Mars hits. Mars is in your 5th house, creative projects. Wow. North Node in your 5th house. Creative projects involving relationships. Again, it could be theatrical, it could be film stuff. But with the 3rd house, it could also be writing. You had that moon in your 9th house of Libra. You could get involved in a partnership, into a project that's a light that brings light. It's a guru project, like it does raise consciousness. With Mars, you've got Saturn and Jupiter in your 1st houses. So you might be, this might not be who you were before, like what you would have chosen to do at one point in your life, but you're going to do it now because of the guru light hitting you in your 9th house. And the 3rd house, that's an axis in your chart. And these are very much related. They're very active, both of them together when these happen. So you're going to create maybe a writing project, more light communication or writing that brings more enlightenment, because everyone's shifting onto their purpose, redefining their purpose. They're waking up. Jupiter Saturn is waking us up to our proper mission. This is where we are going to get doors opening that they may not be what you thought. So Aquarius are going to start opening up their minds more. They're very open-minded people anyway, Aquarians, but I think they're going to really initiate, because we're looking at the Aries energy in their 3rd house, a business or a project or a writing project, because we've got Mars and North Node. So they're going to a child. It can be a project. It can be, but a creative thing that brings you joy. So it's in the 5th house, is going to bring them joy. So Aquarians are going to write or start a project or do a business that brings them joy, but it's like a child. It's like they love it. They're going to nurture it. And it's going to most likely involve your mate. All missions involve usually a mate, your divine mate.
What about the financial implications of this? Would this be financially abundant, or is this more about joy? From an energetic
Venus,
cosmic standpoint.
yeah, let's take a look at that. First of all, with Venus and Taurus, everything's going to be abundant for everybody.
Okay.
Straight off the bat. Everybody can relax about finances this month, or just initiate and flow. There's going to be a flow. You'll initiate for it, but Venus is going to go into Taurus. And for you guys, let me find a Taurus planet. Hang on. Uranus is in Taurus. So when you guys, you could move, or you could buy money, or you could sell a property and make money, or you could move, or you could redesign a property, or you could build a property. You could act, because it's in your 4th house, Uranus in the 4th house. But also you've got with all the planets going into Taurus, that's going to be in your 3rd house. So you may make money off properties or selling properties, or opening up a business, or starting a new VRBO rental. But with that North Node, yeah, you could redo a house.
Okay.
That gives you a lot of money, or you could do a project that you work at home with too. But with all these planets in Aries in your 1st house, going into Taurus in your 1st house, you may move and settle down somewhere else too, in order to do this creative project.
Okay. Kind
of a mixture of all of that. I hope that makes sense.
It does. I had somebody in mind, with the reason I asked the question, who just started, has somewhat rebranded himself on social media, in particular. And it's very creative. He also has she's not a new person, but she's a person from the past who's come back into the picture, and there's some exploration happening there. And so, I'm, of course, my mind is going to putting the pieces together, and, who is this person that's coming in, and her role and what's happening. And then is this rebrand, this shift, because he's kind of in between, and he's not really, he has a job and he has things he loves, and he's kind of doing both, but he hasn't fully landed on that thing, that project. And I feel like this is the beginning of that, whatever that is. But it's going to have to be financially prosperous in order for him to really fully do it. So that's what I was trying to see, if the energies were supportive of that for him.
I would say it's not showing up here financially necessarily. Let me see, 2nd house. Let's see, where's that? What happens when we have a planet in the 2nd house of Pisces? And then it goes into the 3rd house, Mercury. Here's the thing about Aquarius, because we've had this Jupiter Saturn conjunction on their 1st house. If they get on to their mission, bam.
Yeah.
You will have money.
If it's meant to be. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You will attract finances. Absolutely.
Okay.
Also, I'm feeling Aquarians are sort of financially somewhat secure in the whole, but this whole conjunction happening in the sign of Aquarius is extremely expansive career-wise for Aquarius.
Okay. That's good to know. I'm sure he'll be thrilled.
Yes. The money will attract. I don't know where their transits are when that will happen, but I'd have to look, but it will.
Okay.
And Venus is going to be in the sign of Taurus in the 4th house. So they could absolutely make money off a property, or off land, or off something at house, or work at home. But yes, money, of course, for Aquarians, no doubt.
Okay. All right. Let's wrap up this big circle of the zodiac with Pisces.
Lovely Pisces. So all this is going to be in their 2nd house. Initiation, new initiations in finances, ways of making money, earning money. Mars and in their 4th house, they could move too. Pisces might move. Wait, let me see. Mars and North Node in their 4th houses. Pisces, I think, are going to move. I do believe that. Or they're going to get a house, or they're going to buy a house, or something's going to lucky with finances or houses. I do know a Pisces ascendant who's she had her moon in the 8th house, and her significant other just passed away, but he left her a house.
Wow.
Sad that the guy left, but she did in her North Node. So she's now been given Mars in a north node. She's been given her house, which will put her on her mission, because wherever Mars in the north node is where you're really activating your mission, redefining your mission. So she may be at home educating herself so that she can go on to her mission, but this house is going to give her the stability so that she can do that, you know. And then you've got a lot of planets in your second house. The Aries energy is all in your second house. So you're going to be very fired up and motivated to make money. Pisces are going to be really like fired up to make money. They're really focused. They're going to be focused on that. Plus they had this full moon in Libra on their 8th house. They also really may have had windfalls. So a lot, and like I said, this one Pisces ascendant she got an inheritance. That's the 8th house. That happened right on that full moon. And then another Pisces ascendant I know just got offered literally handed half a business, $1 million business.
Wow.
I know. And they're going to do it, but it was like, wow. It's like they've suddenly been handed a big windfall.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's the full moon in the 8th house, and it will involve a relationship, like some, because it's the 8th house and the sign of Libra covers that. So it's going to be contracted in a relationship. It could be a romantic thing. It could be, you know, but then let's just double check with that north node for Pisces in the 4th house. It'll cause you to shift and move to a more abundant environment, because of these finances will become more abundant for you. And if you were left a property, you might go live there. And then you'll find at that property that you get an opportunity that really moves your career forward. Like I ended up here where I am in northern Idaho right now. All kinds of strange things happened that put me here, and I didn't think I'd be able to make money here. I didn't know how it was going to work.
Yeah.
The universe said, "No, don't worry, we got you."
They had it all taken care of.
Yeah, I'm like, cool. It's good. I'm hanging in there, so it's all right. So, because I'm usually in LA where I do all my networking, where I know a lot of people. I didn't know anybody here. I'm starting to meet a lot of people, and they all really want card reads. Like they all want their charts read. I'm like, whoa, okay, it's fun.
That's super fun. How perfect. So
it's like, wow, okay, I can be here, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm Pisces moon. So this definitely, I am seeing financial, you know, but I may have to move, and I am seeing a lot of 555 signs showing that I could move. So it's possible I end up relocating or changing my apartment or something, you know.
Something, yeah, there may be some sort of shift for you.
Because of my mission. And that's what's gonna determine everything. Everything. This Mars on the north node is gonna absolutely, that's what everyone needs to know, that wherever that house is, that's where you're really going to be guided to. You're not gonna have a real choice. The north node really knocks you into spot. Unless you're super resistant, but you gotta be.
And
no.
Yeah, I think a lot.
Actually, I know someone who is being shifted, and they're doing that. They're going, no, that means I'm failing at my other thing. I'm like, no, the opportunities are opening in ways the universe wants you to life to unfold for your highest good. So
a magical month of April.
Yes.
It you know, from everything that you've shared and just the conversations and all of the really fun synchronicities between things that are happening in both of our lives and the people around us and the energy that's presenting now. I can only imagine what it will be like and what people will experience this month.
Whole new world. We're going to see right now. We're seeing a zygote, or let's do not zygote is right at
zeitgeist
fertilization, right? And we're talking an embryo. So we're looking at like things really growing now. You're going to see it. It's not in just under the dirt. It's above the dirt.
Like, it's coming. Yeah.
And you're going to see where your opportunity is. The universe is going to guide you to your opportunity. The opportunity is the way you're supposed to go. And you're going to, these opportunities are going to be opening up for everyone that's going to send them on their true north node path. Isn't it beautiful? Life is such a opportunity. We worry. We don't need to worry. The stars have got it all worked out for us. Everything's going to line up just beautifully. Just chill.
Yeah. I know.
And with this Aries energy, you do want to chill. You want to watch for shadow aspect, which is to get aggressive and to argue and to fight and to create separation. So you just want to be conscious of that energy being there.
Oh, good. That's a great reminder.
Yeah. And to consciously operate in the positive aspect of Aries, which is in the initiation, inspiration, excitement, new beginnings, new starts, you know.
Oh, so cool. Well, Madelaine, thank you so much for this beautiful transmission of information. Can you share with the SoulFull Sessions listeners where they can find you?
Sure. I have a Instagram account called Madelaine Parker Insta. And I have a YouTube channel still at the name of House of Spirit, which I feel like I need to change. It's House and How, because it's so unclear. Anyway, House of Spirit is my YouTube channel. I do post some regular updates of astrology card reads. I do them. And I have a soul level Facebook page. Everything's got different names. But and then I also started another feed of a spirit that I channel called Channeling Sean, who is a spirit up in the 5D here to guide us through these new era, to the new era. So if you follow that, you get updates on how to navigate this new change in the world.
Oh,
You know.
it's so cool. I am Amalia Natalio, and you can find me at karmickindness.com. And if you are looking for any sort of soul guidance, support, direction, clarity on your purpose and why you're here, and your relationships. The relationships are a biggie. I've done a deep dive in my own personal world when it comes to relationships, whether it's romantic, parental, parent-child, friends, business, you name it. I've
the name karmic kindness. All our karma is between relationships, isn't it?
Yeah, a great point, Madelaine. Yeah, it really is. I mean, so we learn and grow so much through our relationship. So if anyone is looking for a little bit of a little handhold or a little shoulder to lean your head on, reach.
Good time to clear your karma.
Yeah. Definitely reach out to me, and
we'll help you know how to clear your karma with people.
You know what? I think it's so important if we have an understanding about where we each are. You know, when we're in relationship, we're so self-focused because this person's making me feel this way, or they're making me mad, or they're bringing me joy, because it could be positive both ways and still be out of balance. So I think it's really important to have an understanding. Okay, where am I right now? Where's this other person? And being able to engage and interact with one another with that deeper understanding of where they're coming from as best you can. I mean, unless you're literally in their body, you don't know, but you can have a little bit more of a sense and have some compassion. And I guarantee you, your relationships will shift and change for the better. It is.
You know, and this Pisces and Mercury is all about communicating in your relationships, clearing your karma, because if you don't do that, then you go through a whole new year cycle. Anytime planets are in Pisces, you go through a whole new year cycle of that karma. We have to learn that lesson, which is to communicate with love and in a way that progresses the relationship. Of course, you got to set boundaries too, but it's about clearing your karma with these relationships so you don't repeat these cycles. This is an opportunity to break your repetitive cycles that you want to get out of,
which is great.
Yeah, it's emancipation.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, folks. Well, thank you for sticking with us and for joining us on this episode of SoulFull Sessions, the April Cosmic Forecast. We will see you, or you will hear us this time next month. Thanks again. Thank you, and we'll see you all on the next SoulFull Sessions.